All right, here's part two of my conversation with the exiled Crown Prince of Iran, son of the late Shah, who left the country during the Islamic Revolution of 1979. His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi says that this moment is a historic opportunity for his people, the people of Iran, and he has offered to lead his homeland's transition. You've spoken of a 100-day plan to do this transition because there's a lot of concern, obviously, around the world about what that vacuum would look like if there is regime change in Iran. Have you spoken to President Trump about this?
I have been messaging many leaders around the world, including the American administration, as to what we propose, among other things, of how to deal with that. Naturally, and relevant to your previous questions, the less infrastructure damage there is to Iran, it will be making our job easier after regime collapse to start picking up the pieces. And so therefore, I think the most important thing would be that the interim government is capable to have access to the necessary funds to maintain the operation of governance during that time, so we can prepare the grounds for the democratic parliamentary process to take place. How many sanctions could be lifted as a result, and many elements related to that. So regardless of our plan domestically and what I'm offering the nation, I think at some point it's important for world government to understand that there are many ways to expedite and facilitate that process, so the interim government would have less issues to tackle, knowing that they are not as curtailed by means of having enough funding to get the job done. And infrastructurally, the country is not completely depleted, so we literally have to get everything the ground up from scratch. That's a critical aspect as well.
I'm curious what you think about the inaction on the part of the former Iranian proxies, to the extent that they still exist, and also from Russia and China.
Well, I think you should imagine, Marta, that in a sense of realpolitik, certainly the Chinese or the Russians know that in terms of the long-term prospects and what will be more important in terms of relationship with a country like Iran, especially when they are fully aware of the fact that this regime is extremely unpopular, but that the more they demonstrate that they understand what the Iranian people expect the world, and we're not looking only at the West, mind you. Of course, we would like to have good relationship with China or with Russia down the line, but which Iran are we talking about? Not an Iran that has a regime that out of weakness has given away so many of our national interests to other countries in a very unfair, tilted way. Iranians have been protesting, and we've seen many demonstrations chanting slogans against Russia or China, not because we necessarily dislike them, but because the way this regime has conducted itself is literally giving our country away. And that is something that Iranians are too proud to let go of our national interest. As long as our sovereignty and our national interest is preserved, we would like to cooperate and work with anybody who's willing to work with us down the line. This is something that Moscow and Beijing understand in the long run. And they're beginning to see the faltering of the regime. So perhaps if they're not as aggressive as they were before, standing behind this regime, that's a good indication that even they have lost faith about this regime's survival.
Fascinating. Thank you very much, Crown Prince. Good to speak with you. Yeah, a lot of quiet from Russia and China and the proxy areas on all of this. He claims that they are in anticipation of the fall of the regime. So we'll see what happens. Our full discussion, we talked for about 30 minutes, drops tomorrow in the Untold Story podcast. So you can listen to the whole thing at foxnewspodcasts.com. And we hope that you will check that out. In the meantime, thank you for joining us on this Thursday afternoon, June 19th. The story goes on. We will see you back here tomorrow. Stick around. The Will Cain is about to get started and weigh in with me on social media. You can find me on Instagram and on X at those addresses that you see on your screen. Thanks for being with us today for the story. I will see you back here tomorrow at 3 o'clock for a Friday. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.